Hello trainers, we are back this week with Charmander as our featured Pokemon, and today I am recording in a London rooftop, so do please mind some of the city sounds as well as some potential wind. We will be covering a main description on the normal form of Charmander, but we will also be looking at the shadow form, the shiny form, and the purified form. So before I get started, I would like to ask if you could please drop a like, subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified when new videos are released. So without further ado, trainers, let's jump into Charmander. And one thing, I was trying to do the filming while the sun was out, but it is later in the day, so I do apologize, Charmander, that you don't get to be outside in the sunny weather as you do prefer. But let's go ahead and get started. So we are looking at Charmander. This is a Pokemon that most of his body is covered in light orange skin, as you can see, and then its belly does have a lighter, more of a sand color. You do have this Pokemon with 2 feet that have 3 claws or nails coming out at the front of each foot, and I guess it's kind of it's a little squat. You can see its knees, and you also have 2 hands on each side, and if we do a finger count, we have 4 fingers on each hand. So just taking a look at this Pokemon's face, let's see if we can get a quick growl, and you can see that when Charmander opens its mouth, it does have 2 teeth coming out from the top of its jaw and 2 teeth coming out from the bottom of its jaw, as well as his pink tongue. You have the 2 nostrils at the tip of its snout. If we look at the shape of the head, it does have a bit of a snout coming out. An ear-to-ear smile, as they say, although Charmander does not seem to have ears that are visible to us. You also have these beautiful eyes looking at me, these great big eyes. You have the white in the eye, but when you look at it's a pretty large pupil, and towards the bottom you have a turquoise color that has different shades, starting in light going to dark towards the top. So you have both eyes doing that for you, and then we have the 2 eyebrows and a bald head for Charmander. So just moving back to see the rest of its body, you can see that there is a tail. So just looking towards the back, you can see that the sand color that it has on its tummy comes all the way to the back of the tail, and it follows the underbelly. Just looking at the flame, I would assume that the hottest part is at the bottom of the flame. So you start with a light yellow, and then it gets a darker orange, and towards the top where it's a bit more red, a bit of a darker orange. I think we've covered a lot of the information that we have for this form of Charmander. So for now, I will go ahead and get a nice growl from Charmander, and trainers, we will move on to the shiny version of this Pokemon. So trainers, one thing I did not mention is that there is no clear visible distinction between a male and a female Charmander. So the last Charmander that we looked at was a female Charmander, and this shiny Charmander is a male Charmander. So just going into Charmander, as you can see, and the biggest difference on this shiny Charmander is the skin color is now made this Charmander a golden Charmander. You have most of its body is covered in this gold shine for Charmander, this gold skin, and I think the tummy is almost the same color. It is a bit of a lighter, I guess not really. It's a bit of a darker sandy color. for Charmander, but I love the new look. I love any golden Pokemon. So most any golden shiny Pokemon. So it is just it's a nice surprise when there's a big change. I know that with, what was it, Bulbasaur, it was just different hues of its green, but you did begin seeing more differences with Ivysaur and Venusaur. So I just really love this shiny Charmander. So let's just take a quick look all around. You do have the flame that continues to be the same color, but the tummy going from the underside towards the back, I guess the colors kind of blend a bit. It is almost the same color, just a lighter shade of the gold. But I just love the way that Charmander looks, and I think we're gonna have a few different surprises whenever we're looking at its other evolutions. But let's just get a quick growl from this shiny Charmander, and let's get closer up. And for now, I think, one other thing, I think the eyes are the same color, but just a bit lighter. But other than that, it's the same. For now, we will go ahead and take a look at the shadow version of this Pokemon. And trainers, I am still working on a video for more background on shiny Pokemon, as well as to give you more background on shadow and purified Pokemon. I think that will be very helpful once that is completed. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into the shadow form of this Pokemon. Okay, trainers, so we are taking a look at the shadow form of Charmander. I've gone a bit further back so that we can see the full purple cloud that surrounds this Charmander, this shadow Charmander. But as you can see, along with the other shadow forms that we have seen in the past, the two main differences are the purple cloud that surrounds this Charmander. It is back to its normal skin color, and the dark red eyes. But I think the red eyes on this Charmander, on this shadow Charmander, they're a little bit creepier, because you can see the different shades. So you have a clearer red where the white used to be, and then the different shades of red from a lighter to a darker when you get towards the top of the eye. So to me, it just looks a little bit more sinister. So let's just take a quick look all around this shadow Charmander. Like I said, I am still working on a video for shadow Pokemon and where they come from, and more background on how they were created. But this is the shadow version of Charmander. I'm just going to go ahead and end this part for this Charmander, and before we do, let's get a quick growl from shadow Charmander, and I will now go into the purified form of this Pokemon. Alright, trainers, so to finalize this portion of the video, we are now taking a look at the purified version of Charmander. As you can see, we do have the same white cloud that surrounds all of Charmander, and you have the golden glints that we've seen in other Pokemon surrounding this purified form. If we get a closer look, you can see the hints and the glints, but this Charmander is now been purified after it's been rescued from Team Go Rocket. But that is really the main difference that you will see in a purified Pokemon at this time. So we will go ahead and end this part of the video. Let's get a quick growl from this purified Charmander. The official Pokédex entry for Charmander reads as follows. Charmander. The flame on its tail indicates its life force. If it is healthy, the flame burns vigorously, even if it gets wet. If it is weak, the flame also burns weakly. The flame is also the indication of Charmander's emotions. It wavers gently when Charmander is happy and blazes when it is enraged. From the time it is born, the flame burns at the tip of its tail. Newborns, unfamiliar with the fire, are said to accidentally burn themselves. Obviously, Charmander prefers hot places. When it rains, steam is said to spout from the tip of its tail. The flame at the tip of its tail makes a sound as it burns but can only be heard in quiet places. Charmander's life would end if the flame were to go out. Okay, trainers, we will now go deeper into Charmander's background. As mentioned earlier, there are no visible differences between male and female Charmander. This Pokemon originates from the Kanto region and can be found in hot, mountainous areas. As it is a starter Pokemon, you will often find new trainers starting their journey in possession of a Charmander. It has been observed that Charmander exhibits pack behavior and will call others of its species when it finds food. In Pokemon Go, Charmander can be found in the wild and does nest, so make sure to check your local parks. Charmander spawns are also boosted by sunny weather in Pokemon Go. Charmander is an omnivore, eating both plants and meat. Each stage of the Charmander family holds their own preference for meat, but they do need plenty of food, especially before bed, so they can continue to provide fuel for their flame. The flame at the end of its tail is an indicator of Charmander's health and mood, burning brightly when strong, weakly when exhausted, wavering when happy, and blazing when enraged. Charmander would die if the flame ever goes out, so always pay attention, trainers. When raising a Charmander, always make sure water sources are sealed or in hard-to-reach places, as this is quite a curious Pokemon. Charmander are known for their sweet and bright natures, but with young Charmander, trainers need to discipline them properly to stop them from chewing on furniture or testing the strength of their flame in highly flammable places. With its fire attacks, Charmander is one of the most powerful starters in the Kanto region. While they can be quite powerful, it is not a walk in the park to make sure Charmander is trained well and behaves like a proper leader. Charmander are fiercely loyal, up to the point of putting themselves in danger. One story showed a Charmander waiting at a rock for their trainer who had abandoned them to return. Doing this through a dangerous storm, Charmander put itself in danger, as this could have ended their life by putting the flame at the tip of their tail out. The loyal nature of a Charmander makes it a great starter for trainers beginning their Pokemon journey, but if you choose Charmander as your starter trainer, you should have the same level of loyalty back for Charmander. My initial thoughts on Charmander were that I liked how cute and friendly it is. If it was not for Pikachu being my first starter, I would have chosen Charmander or Bulbasaur. I remember Charmander being the most popular because his final evolution is Charizard, and the final evolution looks very cool. I am very familiar with Charmander, but thanks to the research I have learned more things about this Pokemon that I had not considered, especially when it comes to safety and raising a Charmander. I had not considered that, like anything else, they need to test and learn their strength, and as a trainer you need to be there for them and provide a safe space for this. I think it is very helpful for a trainer to learn their Charmander's moods based on the flame at the tip of their tail, so they can be better at dealing with battles and anything that comes up while raising their Charmander. The shiny version of this Pokemon is another favorite of mine. Give me any gold shiny Pokemon and I am happy. I like that Charmander has attitude and lots of personality. This means once you get them on your side, they will be fiercely loyal partners in your Pokemon journey. The name Charmander originates from a combination of the words char, which means to burn, and salamander, which is a lizard, and comes from the Greek word salamandra. Its Japanese name is Hitokage, which is derived from Hi, which is fire, and Tokage, which means lizard. Okay, trainers, if I missed anything, or if you have any thoughts on Charmander, please add them in the comment section below. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when a new video is up. I try to release one every week. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The handle is @LondonInstinct for updates, posts, and stories. I have been featuring art submissions from trainers around the world, so feel free to submit yours too. See you next week, trainers. Bye.